Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a review of the brand new exotic shotgun called the Scorpio that was added to the Division 2 in Title Update 12. Now if you don't know, the way that you get this exotic shotgun is pretty easy. You just have to get to level 55 on the Season 4 reward track. You just get that from, any XP in the game upgrades that, so you should be able to get it pretty reliably. Okay. I'm going to say this right off the bat. If you're just here to figure out whether or not the shotgun is good, it's extremely good. It's cracked. It does so much damage, so much, control on like heavy and, elite enemies. It's insane. We're going to go into all of it, but if that's what you want to know, yes, the shotgun is worth it, and you should definitely go out and get it. So what we're going to do is I have some pre-recorded gameplay of some different scenarios that should show off how good this thing is. We're going to go over all of that, but first let's take a look at the shotgun itself, show what the talent does, and as well I will show you the build that I used in these gameplay clips. Let's get into it. So let's take a look at the Scorpio shotgun. Here it is. It looks pretty cool, I have to say, and it's a variant of the new 612 high-end shotgun that we got last season in Season 3. I like this model a lot, and yeah, it's a nice one to have. So the talent on it is called Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. So the first shot you apply to someone deals poison, or it applies poison onto them. The third shot is disorient, sixth shot is shock, and then the seventh one applies them with a debuff that makes them take 20% additional damage. And then after 7, it says that stacks no longer increase. And the duration of these status effects is based on the percentage of pellets hit by the shot. So let's just break that down. Basically, and you're going to see this in the gameplay, you go up to someone and you shoot them. Based on how many pellets hit, so that usually means how close you are, then the longer these effects are going to last. So if I'm right up next to an ad and I hit them once, then they're going to have a pretty lengthy poison, debuff on them. And same with the rest of them. So, and then if you're further away, it's still going to apply it, but it's going to be for a pretty short time. Now, important to note is that these effects change for PvP. So if I go back and turn that on and go back down, you can see now it changes both the values and what type of debuffs they have. So now it's 2 shots to get a bleed, 4 for a disrupt, and 7 for an ensnare, and then 8 is that same debuff of 20% additional damage, which makes it a bit less, lethal and inherently overpowered, but it's definitely still pretty strong. And to take a look at the build that I'm using for these gameplay clips, so you know, it's just my Hunter's Fury build that I made a video on for TU11, and I've just literally swapped out the Sweet Dreams for the Scorpio, because while the Sweet Dreams is nice to get that one-hit melee, you're going to see the Scorpio it's so much better. It's so good, and, it just melts through everything. So I'm not probably going to make a build video for the Scorpio specifically, because this is just what I would use it with. So if you want more information on this build, I have a video on it in my build playlists. You can go back. It's the Hunter's Vengeance one from TU11. So yeah, just do the exact same thing and slap the Scorpio on there, and you're going to deal a whole lot of damage. Of course, it fits into a lot of other builds too, but this is just the one that I think is the most effective for up close combat. And yeah, that's what it's all about when it comes to shotguns and the Scorpio specifically. So we have 3 different gameplay clips that I want to show you guys to demonstrate this thing's power. The first one is the most recent Rogue Viper from the new Season 4 Manhunt. The second is some solo Legendary Summit gameplay. And then the last one is a 4-man group, so it should give you a sense of that as well, just a regular bounty. So let's get into those 3. Alright, so like I said, this first clip is me going through and taking down a Viper, which is the first and most recent target for the Season 4 Manhunt of Fei Lao. If you've played these rogues before, in past seasons on heroic difficulty, you know that they're pretty difficult. They're pretty tanky, their skills are very effective and lethal, and they can heal up quite a bit. But as you're going to see, when I run up to Viper with the Scorpion, she really doesn't stand a chance. So the 2 things to watch for in this are, 1, the heavy that I take down before I fight her just goes down right away. The Scorpio is extremely effective at taking down stuff like dogs and heavies, because you can just keep laying those shots in. The dogs not as much, but it helps with the shock. But specifically heavies of any faction, you're just going to keep hitting them, and they get these status effects, and they just can't move. All the meanwhile, you're taking down their armor. You don't even have to really, aim for anything specific. I just walk up to this heavy and I aim at him, and I just spam the trigger 8 times for the clip, and he's pretty much dead. So it's incredibly effective. So I take him down, and then for Viper, I just take down the few ads around her, and then I just walk up and start hitting her. And by the time I get through the last debuff of the 20% damage, she still has a little bit of health left. I just pop my confused Banshee Pulse and hit her a few more times, and she's dead. It's just that confuse and that shock specifically that really immobilize the ads and stun them. It's not a stun, but it's a a stagger mostly. And, well, the shock is a stun, but the confuse is a stagger, and that's what allows you to get those continued hits in without taking the damage, without getting affected yourself, and so it's just incredibly potent and effective. And then next up, like I was saying, this is some gameplay from the summit. I'm on legendary difficulty. You can see up in the top, what is that, left corner, the, chevron with the 3 stars is legendary. I'm doing it solo, so, they're a little bit scaled down, but still, legendary is pretty, difficult. So to see what this can do in there is pretty cool. First I go against a squad of rogue agents, 2 of them, and just like Viper, it puts them to work. It's a little bit different because they're a little bit tankier since they're on legendary, but you can see that still it's very effective against them. And then after that, I go through just a regular floor in a room of the summit where I take on some elites and some reds and all that mixed in. And even though legendary usually in my mind, I wouldn't normally use a shotgun. If I were before this came out, I would usually stay back. I'd put on a sniper. I'd put on something else to really get some distance to really make sure that I was protecting myself. But what this allows you to do is just to run up and hit them, and they can't really do anything back. They get poisoned, confused, shocked. Some of the other ones will still hit you, so you still have to play, somewhat smart, of course. But you start hitting them, and they're really just immobilized, and they can't do anything. And you just take them down with the Hunter's Fury buff. If you're using that, just up close with the shotgun, you already know it's going to happen. So it's crazy. It's really powerful. And then last up, we have this bounty that I'm in a 4-man for, so you should get a bit better of an indication of how this works in groups. But I will note that any of the other gameplay things I showed would have worked just as well in a group, because not only does the immobilizing effect of this still take place, so you can still deal the same amount of damage even though they're tankier, if other members of your team are also using the Scorpio, what the devs noted, before this even came out, was that multiple people can shoot one target with a Scorpio and the stacks will apply the same. So if 4 people shot one target at once, it would automatically give them the poison and the confuse, because it counts everyone's shots for 1 metric, 1 meter. So that's really powerful. So if your 4-man wants to run around in the raid, like, on the first boss in Iron Horse on Gray and just taken down, immediately, I bet you could do that. This thing is super insane. But you'll see in this clip, which, by the way, how have I never been to this place in the game? I joined this person's group and they were doing a bounty in some location I'd never been to. It's over by Viewpoint Museum, but it was really cool in here. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. You can see that I just, I'm wiping people out in here. They all spawn in one closet, and in that, area I get a riot foam nade off and just start going to town on another heavy, just like with the Viper clip and on the boss. And yeah, I mean, you've seen it plenty by now. This thing just shreds. The handling on the gun is great. It's pretty similar just to the regular high-end 612 shotgun. It has some nice stability and handling mods on the Exotic itself, and so I think that helps. But overall, it's just a really good shotgun. It's powerful. It has a lot of damage, a lot of debilitating effects, and it's easy to handle. It's just all across the board a great package and a great Exotic to use and add to your arsenal. Alright guys, and that is going to do it for my review of the new Scorpio Exotic shotgun for the Division 2. I'll reiterate one last time, this thing is incredible. If you haven't gone out and gotten this, you're definitely going to want to. You're probably going to get level 55 at some point throughout the season anyway, but if you're really looking for something to complement your up-close, and personal build, something to add to a Hunter's Fury build, then this is 100% the greatest addition you can add to it. It's going to melt through heavies, it's going to melt through bosses, and all that type of difficult stuff. As long as you still, play somewhat smart, you're going to be doing a lot, and you're going to get some insane benefit from using this. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the Scorpio Exotic. Do you have it yet? Are you going to get it after seeing this? What are your thoughts about it on your own? Not necessarily just my gameplay, but what are your experiences with it? I'm very curious what you all have to say about that. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.